Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some very spicy battles in the Open Great League featuring XL level 50 WAILMER. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now, XL WAILMER is way tankier than I expected. It has the 7th highest HP stat of any Pokemon in the Great League, and this trainer uses WAILMER to get a shield advantage so Shadow Zard can sweep in the endgame. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out XL WAILMER in the Great League. Hopping to the first match, leading WAILMER into Abomasnow, a very tough lead. Immediate save switch into Galarian Stunfisk, and the Abomasnow is not switching out, so Stunfisk is going to strike first, firing off the Rock Slide. Rock Slide does get a shield from Abomasnow. Abomasnow staying in here and trying to get some damage on the G-Fisk. We are going to see a shield used by the G-Fisk. G-Fisk farming up, going for Rock Slide number 2, continuing to apply pressure onto the opponent. Opponent is going to double shield their Abomasnow, and at this point, I think you just save the shield for Shadow Charizard. Opponent fires off the Energy Ball. Stunfisk farming up, going for the Rock Slide, but an incredible catch by the opponent, catching the Rock Slide onto their own Stunfisk. Bad news for the opponent. The switch clock is up, and now in comes XL WAILMER. Now, XL WAILMER, as I mentioned, has a massive HP stat, allowing it to tank a Stab Earthquake surprisingly well. Now, WAILMER is going to farm up, and WAILMER is at the back-to-back body slams. They are going to be resisted, but WAILMER is just going for chip damage. WAILMER, unfortunately, did not go for body slam number 2, and now in comes Shadow Charizard with a shield advantage. Shadow Charizard going to need to fire off the Dragon Claw on the CMP tie. This will be taking care of the Stunfisk, and now it's Charizard with a shield advantage versus the world, and the opponent concedes the match. Moving into the next match, leading XL WAILMER into Swampert. This is a pretty nice lead for WAILMER. Opponent is going to save switch into Sableye. WAILMER going to stay in, get some chip damage with the water guns, and then send in Galarian Stunfisk. This will put that Sableye closer to Earthquake range. Sableye goes for the foul play. Stunfisk farming up to the Earthquake, baiting with the Rock Slide, trying to grab a shield from the opponent. Rock Slide gets no shielded as the opponent calls the bait. Sableye fires off the foul play, winning CMP over the Stunfisk. Stunfisk able to hang on, tank the foul play, and return fire with the Rock Slide. Rock Slide is going to get the shield as the opponent is going to concede shield advantage. That is quite nice. In comes WAILMER. WAILMER not going to be shielding a thing. As I mentioned, this team is designed to get shield advantage for Shadow Charizard, so Shadow Charizard can absolutely eat. In comes Abomasnow. Do they know about the Heavy Slam? They do not! Big damage! In comes the Shadow Charizard. Opponent gonna send in the Swampert. Shadow Charizard firing off the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw does land, and that does so much damage to the Swampert. Shadow Charizard going for Dragon Claw number 2, continuing to apply pressure onto the Swampert. Swampert continues to farm, finally going to start returning fire with Hydro Cannons, but the Charizard still has 2 shields here, so Charizard can very comfortably commit the shield, and Charizard is very close to a move. Charizard gets the farm down, and the opponent concedes the match. We've got a battle of spice in the next match. XL WAILMER versus a purified Alolan Raticate. WAILMER going to stay in this matchup. These water guns are definitely adding up onto the Raticate. WAILMER going to fire off a Body Slam. Body Slam is going to land onto the Raticate. Raticate continues to farm. WAILMER going to let this through. WAILMER should tank whatever they throw. They go for the crunch. They do get the defense drop. That is an unfortunate defense drop. Firing off the Body Slam into the Raticate. Raticate barely able to hang on, and it ends up being a CMP tie. WAILMER going to be taken out due to the debuff, and now in comes Galarian Stunfisk. Stunfisk able to get a fantastic energy lead, and the opponent sends in a Mandibuzz, so they clearly have absolutely no answer to G-Fisk with energy in the back. Firing off a move, Stunfisk continuing to farm. We're going to see Mandibuzz start to return fire here, firing off the foul play. Stunfisk, very, very nice charge move timing there, firing off the Rock Slide into the Mandibuzz. 2 Rock Slides, not going to be enough to KO, but this third one is going to start to pressure shields from the opponent. Rock Slide is going to get the shield. Mandibuzz continuing to farm. Mandibuzz going for the foul play, and again, G-Fisk just does not have to care. G-Fisk going for yet another Rock Slide. Is the opponent going to double shield here? G-Fisk gets the final shield, and at this point, 2-shield Shadow Charizard basically just wins against whatever they have in the back. Foul play is going to KO. In comes the Shadow Charizard. They're firing off a move. That's going to grab a shield from the Zard, but Zard is just going to look to farm down. In the back, they have Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen about to get vanquished with a Blast Burn. Blast Burn KOs. In comes the Mandibuzz, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading XL Wailmer into Swampert. Again, a pretty decent lead for the Wailmer. Wailmer going to be staying in this matchup. Even if Swampert does full send the Earthquake, thanks to that HP stat on Wailmer, Wailmer is actually able to tank all of the mud shots as well as the earthquake damage. Opponent fires off a move. Wailmer lets it through. It is the earthquake. We see a save switch into Pidgeot, and Pidgeot will immediately be answered by a hard wall in Galarian Stunfisk. Pidgeot firing off the Feather Dance. Feather Dance does, of course, dramatically lower Stunfisk's attack, but even so, this is a crushingly dominant matchup. Rock Slide is going to land. Stunfisk going for Rock Slide number 2, firing off the charge move before they're able to get another debuff. Rock Slide is going to land. Pidgeot now extremely low on HP. Pidgeot firing off another charge move. They go for another Feather Dance. The Stunfisk is now at -4 in terms of attack. Stunfisk farming up and going to fire off the Rock Slide. Rock Slide into the Pidgeot is going to KO. In comes the Swampert. Aggressive switch back into the Wailmer. Wailmer firing off the Body Slam into the Swampert. Swampert is going to commit the shield. Swampert able to get the Mud Shot farm down. In comes G-Fisk, basically just using G-Fisk as a damage sponge, and as always, saving shields for the Shadow Charizard. Charizard farms down. In the back, it's Noctowl, up a shield. Shadow Charizard wins this comfortably. Straight Blast Burn. No baits here. Blast Burn, big damage, cooking the Owl. And at this point, it looks like the opponent just top lefted the match. Sky Attack, not gonna land, and that's game over. Moving into game number 5 of the set, looking for the 5-0, leading Wailmer into Noctowl. This will be an interesting lead to see play out. Water Guns, of course, will definitely chip away at the health of Noctowl, but these Sky Attacks from Noctowl will definitely add up. Noctowl fires off the Sky Attack, Wailmer going to tank it, Wailmer farming up and going to fire off the Body Slam. Get some nice neutral chip damage here. Wailmer farming up to the Body Slam, and we see a switch and catch, catching the Sky Attack onto Galarian Stunfisk. Opponent farming up energy with their Noctowl. Opponent goes for a catch onto their own Stunfisk, but now that they failed the catch, they're in a very difficult spot here. Earthquake gets no shielded. Opponent is going to reach a Quake, but now you can just shield, Mud Shot down, leave with a ton of energy, and still have a lot of HP remaining on the Stunfisk as well. Stunfisk farms down, has so much energy. Does the opponent send in the third here, or do we see the Noctowl? Opponent is going to send in the third, which is Trevenant. Trevenant going to be met with a lot of energy from the Stunfisk. Rock Slide is going to land, farming up, unfortunately losing CMP on the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb not going to KO here though. Stunfisk with a sliver of HP, able to withstand that Seed Bomb. That was closer than I expected, and able to grab a shield. Aggressive switch into Shadow Charizard. Charizard looking for the farm down and going to win CMP over the Trevenant here, pressuring the final shield, gets the final shield, and now Shadow Charizard can commit a shield itself. Trev goes for the Shadow Ball. In comes the Noctowl. Charizard, king of CMPs, Dragon Claw, KOs the Noctowl, and that's game over. We've got a core breaker on the lead in the next match, Wailmer going up against Trevenant. Trevenant, of course, has very favorable matchups against both the Wailmer and the Stunfisk, so this is not a fun spot to be in. Trev is going to fire off a charge move. They go for the Seed Bomb into the Stunfisk safe switch. Stunfisk going to return fire with the Rock Slide, needing to get some chip damage on the Trevenant. Trevenant lets that through. Opponent going to send in a Shadow Drapion, and this is probably going to be the Caleb Peng line with Bastiodon in the back, so switch advantage absolutely has to be won here. They have so much energy on this Drapion. Drapion fires off the Crunch. Stunfisk able to hang hang on and fire off the Rock Slide. Rock Slide, unfortunately, not going to KO. Stunfisk gets farmed down. Stunfisk may have been able to make it to the Earthquake there. And I believe by not winning Switch, this is just going to be game over because Bastiodon will absolutely crush the Charizard in the endgame. Wailmer will be hit with a crunch from the Drapion. We see an aggressive switch into the Charizard. In comes the Bastiodon. And that's game over. Speaking of Bastiodon, guess what we have on the lead in the next game? Wailmer into Bastiodon. Opponent is going to save switch into Shadow Victory Bell, which will be torn to shreds by Shadow Charizard. It looks for this game that Stunfisk has been put on the bench in favor of Noctowl as the third. Victory Bell goes for the Leaf Blade. Charizard able to tank it, and Charizard leaves with a Blast Burn to hit for some pretty solid neutral damage against the Bastiodon. Back in comes the Bastiodon. Blast Burn able to land. They're still switch locked. So in comes Wailmer. These water guns adding up. Wailmer gonna fire off the neutral heavy slam. This will not do a lot of damage to Bastiodon, but at this point, it's all about getting chip damage. Opponent gonna fire off a Stone Edge. You can let this go. Wailmer is gonna tank it, hoping they have another grass type in the back. It's a Tropius. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. In the next game, we have yet another Swampert lead. Swampert gonna stay in this matchup with Wailmer, which considering the backline, which looks like is back to G-Fisk, definitely does not want to say hi to the Swampert. Body Slam is going to land. Opponent farming up a ton of energy. Let's see, do they go for the Earthquake here? Wailmer lets it go. It's the Earthquake. That does quite a bit of damage. Opponent switches into Frostlass, and unfortunately, that's going to catch the Body Slam. That is double resisted. Now in comes the Galarian Stunfisk. Stunfisk able to outpace and fire off the Rock Slide, applying some pressure onto the Frostlass. Frostlass, he's going to let that go. Rock Slide not going to be enough to KO. Frostlass has a lot of energy here. Stunfisk is opting to no shield. Avalanche lands. Stunfisk not able to get the farm down with a sliver of HP. Frostlass able to land the Avalanche and KO. In comes the Shadow Charizard. Shadow Charizard hoping that it's going to be able to sweep in the endgame, but Swampert brought back in and going to fire off a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon gets the shield in the back. Opponent has a Abomasnow, and this is looking like a catch is going to be needed to win this game. Firing off the Dragon Claw here. Dragon Claw is going to get the shield. Opponent firing off the first Weather Ball. We see a shield from the Shadow Charizard. Charizard farming up here, and unfortunately the opponent threw as soon as they had it. No catch was attempted, and Abomasnow will be able to KO the Wailmer. Hopping to the final match, leading Wailmer into Walrein. Definitely not the most comfortable Pokemon, as Walrein has a lot of neutral play versus the entire team. Gonna stay in with the Wailmer. Wailmer farming up and firing off the Body Slam right off the bat. Looking to get some chip damage. Body Slam is able to land. Walrein going to return fire here. This Earthquake definitely going to hurt, but Wailmer able to tank it and not even be in the red. Wailmer farming up, goes for the Body Slam, but it's caught onto Sableye. Very unfortunate there. And it's a shiny, purified Sableye as well. The absolute flex. In comes the G-Fisk. G-Fisk firing off the Rock Slide. Rock Slide will be no-shielded, as the G-Fisk did not build up to the Quake. G-Fisk going for the Rock Slide. Sableye is going to win CMP. The good news is, Foul Play definitely not going to be lethal, and G-Fisk will either be able to get rid of the Sableye or get the shield advantage. And the opponent gives up a shield. That is so good. Opponent, perfect counting. They're going to fire off a Foul Play. We're going to see the no shield here. Foul Play is going to KO. In comes Wailmer. Wailmer going to be able to absorb the energy. And now it's all up to Shadow Charizard with a shield. Shadow Charizard gets the farm down. Opponent going to send in a Shadow Nidoqueen. Oh my goodness, these poison jabs are tearing through the Charizard. One win con, straight Blast Burn. It connects. In comes the Walrein. Walrein, unfortunately, rapidly running out of options here. They fire off the Icicle Spear. The Zard still has two shields. The Zard farms up and gets to the back-to-back moves. This should be game over. Dragon Claw gets the KO. And that is a good game. All in all, I was surprised by XL Wailmer. Having the 7th highest HP stat in the Great League, definitely no joke. I mean, its defense stat does leave some to be desired, but with that HP stat, it can withstand some pretty solid moves. And honestly, I feel like I underestimated a bit. It's definitely still more of a pick for fun than for climbing, but it did put in some solid work. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.